All right, what is up, everybody? Divine Hood here, coming at you with another daily update on Bitcoin and the crypto markets. All right, guys, so Bitcoin has seen a bit of a pump today. We are pumping up towards the highs of the range here, but overall, today was a pretty slow day for Bitcoin, just continuing to range in this upper range. Now, yesterday in the video, I did say if we lose 93K, we would probably come lower and make new lows. And we did end up coming lower and making some new lows, but we just grabbed the lows from Wednesday. You can see we SFP'd those lows, and then now we saw a reversal and a push back into our low micro range volume profile. Ended up pushing back up to the point of control, rejected the point of control, flipped the value area low to support, continued to work up to the value area high, which we're around right now. But overall, Bitcoin is still looking pretty strong here, consolidating in this range and holding the more macro levels of support, not even getting to the macro levels of support, just holding its strength really. What I would like to talk about with Bitcoin, there's a couple larger scenarios we can look at here. We have been expecting this relief rally since we saw the double drives of bull div on the daily, and really since we reclaimed value area low and were able to flip this point of control of this range or the intermediate range to support. Once we flip this point of control to support, we were expecting that breakout of the descending channel. So overall, in this relief rally, I would like to say this: so far, this is looking very three-wave corrective here. And I did talk about this a couple days ago, but our targets for that three-wave correction, if this is an ABC correction to the upside, is it really in that 97K zone all the way up to the SFP of our Bybit hack highs up here at about 100K, 100.5. And so if we are looking at this still as being just a relief rally where we are going to make a lower high overall and continue down to make new lows below our 74K lows, we can look at the ABC correction. So far, it does look like a three-wave correction here. Could be ending at around that very important 97K area of resistance. Now, on the other hand, I would like to talk about the other scenario that we could look at, the more bullish case scenario where we could eventually come take out the all-time highs or even move up to 103K. And in that scenario, we are looking at this not as a three-wave move, but it's going to be a five-wave impulse to the upside where we could break 97K, even break 103K, or reject from 103K and then see a higher low in the making and then continue up to new all-time highs. So we have this contracting diagonal. That was a horrible line. Contracting diagonal that we saw in a wave one. We saw that flat correction in a wave two. This pump that we saw the last few days is part of our wave three. This wave three does not look like it's ended yet. And if we have our wave three, then we could see a pullback maybe from 97K that takes, you want your wave three pullback to be longer than your wave two correction. Your wave four correction, your wave four correction, you want to be longer than your wave two correction. And our wave two correction lasted about 7 or 8 days. So after this third wave completes, we could expect, and I think it might complete around 97K, 98K, we could expect a couple weeks of sideways and down before seeing a fifth wave to the upside to maybe hit into our value area high of our all-time high range before seeing that bigger correction. Now, if we zoom in on the focus on this push up that we've seen the last few days, either a C wave or a three wave, it doesn't matter what we look at because we count it the same way. And so let me go ahead and zoom in onto the 1 hour chart from these lows here, from the bullish backtest of the descending channel and the point of control where we flipped it to support and continued to explode to the upside. We can be looking at this either as a C wave or a three wave. In either scenario, you're looking for a sub count of a 5-wave impulse within that third wave or within the C wave. Now, if we analyze this structure so far, we have a pretty clear 1 here, pretty clear 2, pretty clear 3 that we made yesterday, and now we are in the process of a 4th wave now. And then we could see that last push up in a 5th wave, either ending our ABC correction or ending the 3rd wave, seeing the bigger pullback that lasts a couple weeks in a 4th wave and then a 5th wave to the upside. So either way, locally, we are looking for more upside and for our highs from, what day was that? Wednesday to be taken out. Right now, it looks like we are in the process of forming the fourth wave on a sub count here. And so what we need to look for is this overall three-wave correction, a three-wave zigzag correction before exploding in the fifth wave. Now, earlier today, I was in the Discord stream and we did talk about this. The fourth wave could be over. Your second wave here is right in this area here. Now, you want your fourth wave typically to be longer than your second wave correction. And you also want it to be like a three-wave correction to the downside or a series of three-wave corrections to the downside, a complex correction. You can see here from our highs on Wednesday, we have that first push down, a push back up, and then a push down last night to take out the lows. So we do have a three-wave corrective move to the downside to take out our lows. The only problem I have with this being the end of the fourth wave, the low that we made early this morning being the low of the fourth wave, and we're already going to shoot up in our fifth wave, is if we take our Fibonacci pull from the lows of wave 3 to the highs of wave 3, and we turn on our wave 4 targets, you can see the most common target area is between the 0.382 and the 0.5. Well, we didn't even get to the 0.382. We front ran the 0.382, which tells me that we might still be in this fourth wave, forming a bigger flat correction in a fourth wave. Now, in a flat correction, you're going to want to see your B wave in this flat take out the highs of your A wave, see that swing failure pattern, and then you would want to dump to actually hit your support level, which would be between the 382 and the 0.5. Now the 0.5 here, I do like this 0.5 level because you can see it's at the bottom of our support box around 90.5. And our anchored VWAP from the all-time high is coming in now, would be flipped to support and tested as support at that area. We have that 1 hour order block in here. We have this 1 hour order block right in here. We have a naked daily point of control there. And of course, the 382. Now this 382 I'm talking about is of the entire, let me clean up this chart real quick here. And this 382 is of the entire third wave or C wave to the upside. So if we look at that, let me make sure this is right on. You can see that that 382 is also coming in right around the smaller 0.5 and right around the anchored VWAP. So that 90.5, 91K to 90.5 is the area that I'm really looking for a bounce to continue the fifth wave up to 97K. But we are looking for a bit of a pullback here. We're looking for a bit of a rangy type structure. It could be another flat range, just like we saw in here. But if our wave 2 was a flat range, it's probably going to be less likely that this is going to be a flat as well in a wave 4. But we are looking overall for more upside to take out our highs from Wednesday and continue a little bit higher here. Once we get to 97K, if we get to 97K, we're really going to have to keep an eye on the way it reacts up here and how we reject from this area. Because if we reject in an impulsive price action, impulsive movement, then we could say, hey, maybe this whole thing was a big three-wave corrective move up to our point of control, up to our major resistance area. And if we start to impulse down, we could say, all right, maybe we're coming for the lows. It's not going to happen in one day. It might take a week or 2 weeks, but if it looks impulsive, we can look for some of those lows to be taken out. Okay, but that's about it, guys. Overall on Bitcoin, kind of a slow day, kind of just trading within this range here. We're still trading within this range. You can see we're above that value area low at 93K, that key value area low of our prior range. And if we go ahead and zoom in here just a bit, let's zoom in onto the 15-minute chart. Come on. Okay, 15-minute chart here. Let me get rid of some of this stuff. And you can see, let's pull our volume profile again, just this sideways range. We are hovering right around the value area high right now. We did see that kind of fake out of the value area high, grab some internal liquidity highs. We were looking at these highs here to grab internal liquidity. And then now we are pushing back within the volume profile. It would be better to see that B flat wave though, where we come a little bit higher and grab Wednesday's highs in a B flat, SFP those, and then come down. It doesn't have to happen, but it at this point looks more probable to happen, I should say. For local trading, just trade the range until it breaks. So if we see the SFP of the range highs, you could look for a short from there just to take down to the value area low. You could pull your Fibonacci, go from the lows to the SFP. I'm just going to make a fake fib right now. This is theoretical, but you can see that if we did SFP a little bit, the Wednesday highs, our golden pocket would be coming in right around the value area low of the small range, as well as the value area low of our previous range, our previous major range. So that could be a nice trade to look for, the short of the swing failure pattern. Of course, you would put your stop above wherever the high ends up, and you would look to take profit around the value area low of the range. Very nice risk reward right there. That's a scalp trade that you could play in this range. And then if you could leave a little bit of it to run to come down to this green box here. Now, because we are looking overall, even if this is going to be an ABC correction, we're looking for a little higher. I am prioritizing some longs here. So what I want to see is I'm not looking really for longs unless we grab the range lows or come into our box of support, but I will be looking for longs in those in our major areas of support. And then I also laid out some lower levels of support in yesterday's video. You know, I do think this golden pocket around 88,000 to about 88,600, where our previous range value area high is, that is going to be a very good level of support where we could bounce, bullishly backtesting our previous range value area high and then continuing higher. Okay, let's zoom back out onto the 2-hour chart and let's look at Market Cipher. Market Cipher looking pretty neutral here on the 2-hour. We are forming the potential for bear divs though. If we do come up in SFP this high, we would have higher highs on the price action, lower highs on the momentum waves, and our money flow is kind of looking a little bit toppy here. So it would give us a signal for some 2-hour bear divs. Also, you would see that we are seeing some bear divs even on NAMI here. Okay, let's go into the 4-hour chart. Let's check out the 4-hour. 4-hour also is developing the potential for bear divs both on NAMI and on Market Cipher B. So higher highs, lower highs here. We could see some bear divs come in. And then if we look at our lower time frames, let's go to the 15-minute time frame. You can see we're already developing some drives of bear div on the 15-minute. We do have, oh, okay, let's see. We had some, more locally, excuse me. Sorry, guys. We have higher highs in price action, lower highs in the momentum waves, but your money flow was looking good for most of the day, and this kind of kept us from, we did attempt a short earlier here. We got that short, but we bounced from the VWAP, and then we continued higher. I did close that short around break even just because I saw the high probability it was going to continue higher. Other than that, though, guys, I would say Bitcoin is looking overall pretty strong relevantly. I am still looking for a pullback down to resistance or to support. But I do think the overall move to the upside is more probable. To have new highs be made on this relief rally is probable. Let's go ahead and look at our liquidation heat map. Let's go to our Model 3 and let's just look at, first of all, you can see here on the Model 3 heat map, we still do have some liquidity that's just above us. So we had liquidity above Wednesday's highs, and just about, an hour or 2 hours ago, we took out some of that liquidity on the heat map. You can see we took out about half of it, but there is still some liquidity that is resting above there that we could see another move up to grab that liquidity in that B flat, if we're continuing this B flat here to grab that liquidity. And let's zoom out to higher time frames. Let's go to like the last week of price action here, just covering this relief rally that has happened. You can see that a majority of our liquidity, though, is below us. It is underneath about 85.7, and then we have some liquidity down underneath 83K. So after seeing us hit into this 97K area of resistance, we could see that move all the way back down to 83K, 85K to grab that liquidity. And let's check out our CVD and open interest. Let me just refresh this, make sure it's good. Okay, locally right now, we definitely are seeing some bearish CVD come in on the chart. You can see here, right, lower highs in the price action, higher highs in the CVD, and I would say Okay, not bearish absorption, bearish CVD divs though, because you can see our highs here, our open interest is still lower. So we are on the verge of developing bearish CVD, but it's not there yet. And then also, if we take out these Wednesday highs, it will invalidate the bearish CVD. No bullish CVD either, though. You can see that a lot of longs have been stepping in all day long. What this CVD chart and open interest chart is showing us is that from the lows that we made last night or very early this morning, depending on where you're at in the world, we have pumped pretty consistently all day in this trend moving upwards. And you could see a lot of longs were coming in all day. And we know those longs were fresh long positions because our open interest is increasing here. So fresh long positions are continuing to push the price up of Bitcoin. Now, what I would like to say, if we start losing these range lows, we could trap all those fresh longs underwater, giving us fuel for a bigger push to the downside. We do need to be aware of that. So I would say if we start losing this first green box of support, we could really see a long squeeze down to 88K pretty quickly here. We need to understand and be aware that there is some liquidity that could be trapped. Overall, that's pretty much it, guys. Let's go quickly into Ethereum. I'm not going to spend too much time on the altcoins today because not a lot has happened. Ethereum is still just ranging in this same range as well. You can see it got a deviation of the range, came back within the volume profile of our small range, and it's just trading within this range. We are actually developing this descending channel that is forming here, and we can just expect Ethereum to kind of consolidate as well. If we see the move down, breakdown, we do have that naked daily point of control around 1698, and that would be near the bottom of the channel if it took a few hours to get down to that area where we could see that bounce. Otherwise, I'm going to be looking at our box of support that I laid out yesterday in the video. And to the upside, I am still looking for one more push up to either the point of control, which is right around 1884. It's at the top of this resistance box right that we're hitting into right now. If we break that, I'm looking for that push up to 1977 to 2010. Okay, Solana. Solana is looking pretty strong today. Solana is one of the few coins that has actually made new highs today from their Wednesday highs. So I would like to say Solana is doing very well. And also in yesterday's video, I laid out this box of support and I talked about this box of support being a really key level of support for Solana to bounce from, particularly the bullish backtest of the pitchfork that we had broke out of. And I talked about that pitchfork right around 145.8. Well, you can see what happened overnight. We came down to that pitchfork level. We back tested it pretty much perfect. And now we are exploding to the upside again, taking out Wednesday's highs. And Solana is just showing a lot of strength. And what this tells me is Solana is trying to see a true breakout of the pitchfork by having the lower time frame bullish backtest to that pitchfork and now making new highs. Solana is trending stronger than a lot of the other coins on the market here. And I do think Solana has a very high probability to continue up to this 161.4 to 164.9 area of resistance. If we did not come down to the point of control yet, though. This point of control sitting around 144 is the point of control of our major range that lasted over a year. That is our year-long range from March 2024 to current day. So if we do see another, we just saw the SFP of the highs, of the range highs or Wednesday's highs. If we do start to dump from here, I would be expecting a push down to the bottom of our support box. You can see we just had that clean SFP just now. If we are going with some bear divs on the chart here, on the 15-minute, if we are going to confirm the swing failure pattern, which it looks like we already kind of have, but we're not really seeing follow through, I would expect a move down now in this sideways range. Oop, wrong thing. I'd expect a move down in this sideways range to come down to 144 to SFP our lows from last night into our point of control. See a larger time frame backtest of the point of control. We already saw our small time frame backtest of it. To see that larger time frame backtest to see if it's going to flip to support, and if it is, come up to our next major levels of resistance and maybe even all the way up to $200, where our very, very key level of resistance is between pretty much $200 and $192. Okay, that is it for Solana. Let's go ahead and go into XRP. It did come down to our box of support that we laid out. This is a naked daily point of control, our large range point of control, and a local golden pocket. We saw that bounce, that perfect bounce from our box of support, and we have re-entered back within this volume profile. So once again, all of our local support levels that we marked out in yesterday's videos are holding for most of these coins. Now, Bitcoin didn't even make it down to its, but you can see we're just trading within this range. And also, if we just look at, just like with Solana, just like with Ethereum, we're trading in this descending channel that we have. And you can just look at this descending channel here. See, I even like pulling it to this low here. Descending channel that we're trading in. We can continue to kind of chop down in this descending channel. But with XRP, if we do come down again, I think we can come down to our next box of support, being that local golden pocket in confluence with the value area low, where we could see us drop to the bottom of the descending channel and then see that push up to our resistance above. Remember, our first resistance area is between 235 and 237, but the major area of resistance we need to be watching is this resistance between 241 and 245, 245.5. But yeah, just continuing to trend sideways. And actually, with XRP, you could even look at this as one bigger range to the downside. You could pull your volume profile and just look at this sideways price action. We're hovering right around the value area high. So it's going to be really key to break this value area high and flip it to support to continue up. If we do reject, like you saw, we rejected earlier today from the value area high, we could come down and even break the point of control, come down to our next level of support. Okay, that is it for XRP. Now let's go to Chainlink. Chainlink is pretty boring as well, guys, just ranging. We did see that move down yesterday as well. I didn't mention this with some of the other coins, but look at these moves that we're seeing down. Very three-wave corrective moves. That three-wave move there should tell you that that's a corrective move before continuing the trend to the upside. So we are seeing that trend continuation on Link here. I guess not trend continuation yet, ranging here. And we can expect that continuation actually to come up to hit this resistance that's just above us that we front ran. We have a naked weekly point of control, a daily, and a naked daily point of control, as well as our one-to-one correction target at 15.66. Yes, because I would say if this is, we talked about this yesterday, but this being an A, B, C wave here up to that one-to-one target, if this is going to be an A, B, C, even within your C wave, you are looking for that 5-wave impulse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up there. Yes, now I understand this first wave is a bit longer than your third wave, but you can see extended first waves. As long as your third wave is not the shortest, you're okay. And if our fifth wave rejected from the one-to-one, then our third wave would not be the shortest. It would be okay. We are seeing continued bear divs here. Not quite yet. If we take out the highs, we'll see another drive of bear div. Money flow looks like it's topping out on the hourly. So coming up into this resistance here would be really nice to be looking for a short up into that 15.6 to like 15.5 area. Now, levels of support to the downside. Link did not even come down to our box where we have our golden pocket and our daily level around 13.1 to like 13.3. If we start to lose this range a bit, I expect to move down to this golden pocket daily area. And then if that doesn't hold, 12 to 11.9. All right, guys, just a quick update today. Not too much to cover. If you guys got anything out of this video, please hit the like button. Please subscribe to the video. Share it with any friends. Also, I do have a couple partnerships, MEXC and BYDFI. Links are in the descriptions and the comments. Also, I have a new partnership with NAMI. NAMI is this new trading indicator that I'm testing. It is a pretty good indicator, and it does really give you some good signals. It shows you the hidden bearish divs, the regular bearish divs, hidden bull divs, regular bull divs. It is a pretty useful indicator. Money flow is really quick on this indicator. So if you guys want to try this indicator out, there's a link in the description, and I've also got a 50% off discount code if you want to sign up with that. Thank you guys for supporting, and I will see you tomorrow.